Hey, MCE crew, I hope your day is progressing profitably. We're going to jump right into it because we've got two big items to cover on the real estate front. We've got the eviction moratorium and news there, and we've got the foreclosure moratorium and news there. And if you stick around for the entire video, we're going to give you a technique that you may be able to profit from dealing with these two issues that are bubbling up. So let's jump right into it and start with the Supreme Court declining to lift the national eviction moratorium. This is from the Wall Street Journal. We don't make any money from the Wall Street Journal, but I do find it is a great source of financial information. Go ahead and check out this video we did. It's our most watched video on the channel, How to Read the Wall Street Journal. Then consider a subscription. Hey, look, if you know somebody at the Wall Street Journal and you want to talk to them about sponsoring us, hook us up. Anyway, let's jump right into it. A divided Supreme Court on Tuesday declined to lift a national moratorium on eviction of tenants who have fallen behind on their rent during the situation that started in 2020. We all know what I'm talking about. The court rejected an emergency request by landlords and real estate companies to clear the way for evictions after a federal judge in Washington ruled last month that the moratorium was legally unstoppable. The judge who issued that ruling stayed the effect of the decision while litigation continues. The moratorium has protected millions of tenants but created financial hardships for landlords. Last week, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, extended it for one final month through July. The moratorium had previously been set to expire Wednesday. Now, I want to stop right there and point out something very important. The CDC extended the moratorium. Not the Congress, not the people you voted for, but the unelected, invisible bureaucracy came in and said, hey, look, we've got the authority. We think we're going to go ahead and just extend this. So when I talk to you about the experience that I had as a lobbyist, this is where it comes into play. And this is where I wanted to provide value for you in understanding what's going on in the financial world. Now, the CDC is a regulatory body. They're not a legislative body. Legislators are who you vote for, who they come around, kiss your baby, hand out literature, you cast a ballot for them. But for every law that is created, that law might be a paragraph long. That one paragraph is going to result in reams of regulation, giving authority to various regulatory bodies, as we see here in the case of the CDC. This is why you need to be very astute and understand how these regulations affect your business. Because I'm sure prior to 2020, no one thought that the CDC had the authority to tell you that you couldn't collect rent on your private property. So as we continue, Judge Kavanaugh issued a one-paragraph concurrence explaining his views, saying he believed the moratorium was unlawful, but was willing to leave it in place for July. He said the moratorium would allow for additional and more orderly distribution of rental assistance funds appropriated by Congress. Now, here's another little nuance. The judge, who's supposed to rule on matters of law, says, oh, well, I think it's unlawful, but he didn't rule that way. So you see a little subjectiveness coming in there in the legal system. In any event, the National Association of Realtors, which helped fund the legal challenge, said it looked forward to the moratorium expiring. Quote, with the pandemic waning and the economy improving, it is time to restore the housing sector to its healthy former function, unquote, the group's president, Charlie Oppler, said in a statement. Now, here's something that a lot of people may not know. I want you to pay close attention to this next couple of sentences. The moratorium, which originated from an executive order signed by President Donald Trump last August, shields tenants who have missed monthly rent payments from being forced out of their homes if they declare financial hardship. They still owe the back rent. So You could be in a situation where when this thing expires, you are still expected to come up with this money. Now, in Baltimore City, the average rent is about $1,500 a month. Let's say you've missed 10 months of that. Then you're on the hook. You're going to be obligated to come up with over $10,000 in back rent. Now, it remains to be seen what the government will do in terms of helping to alleviate the pressure caused by this, or possibly, I don't know, stalling on evictions. That is within their purview and power. They could do that. But at the end of the day, people are still going to be left in a situation where they have to come up with, in some cases, a hefty amount of money. Now, that moves us on to the foreclosure moratorium. We're going to need to see landlords and tenants work together to solve this. The government is about to get out of it, and they've just created the mess, and they're going to leave the room now and let other people try to clean it up. But we do have a foreclosure moratorium on that is also due to expire at the end of July. So at that point, you'll have the landlords having to negotiate with their mortgage service providers. Okay, so if you're a homeowner, whether you own the home as a landlord and it's an income producing property, or you live there, you are going to have some options if you've been in forbearance and you've missed payments as a result of the government's mortgage moratorium. Now, one of the things that you could do is you may be able to apply for a refinance. Now, typically, if you've missed a month of mortgage, that could get complicated. But because of the situation, some of the rules have been relaxed, and you're able to still, in certain circumstances, apply for a refinance, even if you've missed mortgage payments, of course, due to the situation that the nation and the world found itself in. This refinance may also allow you to pull some cash out of the equity in the property. And I know that's a screwed up situation for you to have to do that when you didn't cause this situation. But if you're faced with maintaining your presence in the home, then you got to do what you got to do. On the other hand, with a landlord who's not living in the home, they will have some redress that they can take up with their mortgage service providers, because at the end of the day, the banks don't want to have a whole bunch of foreclosures. Back in 2009, the country ended up with almost 3 million foreclosures, and we're not looking at anywhere near that in this instance. And I think that there's going to be a lot of incentive for a lot of banks to work with these landlords. Now, I did promise you that there may be a way for you to make some money here. There may be a lot of landlords out there at this point who are just sick of it and are like, look, I'm done. I'm throwing in the towel. So in addition to an increase in foreclosures and evictions, which we will see some of that, we may also see a willingness for landlords to entertain selling and getting out of the business. All right. I would imagine this is definitely going to be a reality when the courts open back up and evictions start to move slowly. So you're going to have a lot of frustrated mom and pop landlords out there. And that may be the opportune time for you to come in and make a deal and get a property and start, either start your rental empire or add to it. Now, if you are a tenant, hey, you may have first right of refusal. And if you do, it may give you an opportunity to buy the property. So look at all possibilities. Don't rule anything out. This is a unique time in the history of this nation, and it's a challenge. And with challenge comes opportunity. There is a financial opportunity here because there are going to be a lot of landlords who are, just not with it anymore. So consider those things. We'll continue to monitor the situation, and I hope you have a great day.